Let's go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Heartland Highlight Reel for November 12th, 2025. My name is Dave Little, and we are recording this from the Dave Cave on a Thursday night as we bring you a midweek update of all of the action in the Heartland and around the Filsinger Gaming universe. Heartland Highlight Reel. We had a great show last night that took place in Jackson, Mississippi at the Mississippi Coliseum, and we are here tonight to tell you all about it. The show opened with a big night, a big announcement that a new number one contender is needed for Heartland's Pro Wrestling Mid-America Heavyweight Champion, Jackie Fargo, part of the 3W Whatever We Want stable. Iron Sheik had already qualified for the number one contenders match, but another contender was needed for that match, so the show opened with a qualifying match, pitting Don Fry against 3W's own Terry Funk. And it was Terry Funk getting the victory by way of the spinning toe hold to qualify for the number one contenders match that would take place later on last night in Jackson. The rest of the show was also very exciting. Bryan Danielson was next up, picking up a fairly routine victory over Hollywood John Tatum, despite the best efforts of Missy Hyatt to intervene on behalf of Tatum. It was Bryan Danielson exploding off of the turnbuckle with a running knee smash right flush to the jaw of John Tatum that put him down. Danielson with the small package for the victory. Tag team action followed with the British Bulldogs taking on the team of Nick Bockwinkel and Ray the Crippler Stevens in an outstanding match. It was back and forth all the way. Great tag team chemistry on both sides of the ring. Finally, Nick Bockwinkel used the vaunted figure 4 leg lock to get the best of the Dynamite Kid. And Bockwinkel and Stevens took the victory, sending the Bulldogs and their fans home disappointed. Next up, it was Diamond Dallas Page making quick work of his rival MJF with a diamond cutter seemingly out of nowhere. DDP dropping MJF to get the victory in that one. Then it was tag team action once again. Two teams comprising of former Pro Wrestling Mid-America Tag Team Champions, Jack and Jerry Briscoe, taking on Danny Hodge and his partner Wilbur Snyder. And it was the Briscoes, Jack and Jerry, getting the victory once again by way of the figure 4. This time Jerry Briscoe caught the submission on Danny Hodge by way of the figure 4. So 2 tag team matches, 2 submissions via the figure 4. Who does it better, Nick Bockwinkel or Jerry Briscoe? Maybe we'll find that out someday in the near future in Pro Wrestling Mid-America. And that took us to our previously aforementioned number one contenders match. And the potential for controversy was evident as Terry Funk, representing the 3W stable, was in line to perhaps earn a title match against Jackie Fargo from that same stable. And we've seen that story before in the person of Barry Windham. Barry Windham rose up from the ranks of Whatever We Want to challenge Jackie Fargo. Fargo pulled out every dirty trick in the book to defeat Barry Windham, and Barry Windham subsequently got fed up with the whole thing and left 3W and left Pro Wrestling Mid-America. Windham, as you know, now up in the Northeast, working with the Golden Dynasty. Ted DiBiase and Kurt Hennig now affiliated with Windham. Windham went bye-bye. Would the same thing happen to Funk? The world may never know, or maybe it will. because in the end it was the Iron Sheik picking up the victory over Terry Funk by pinfall after a ringside collision between Terry Funk and his manager Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart, the embattled leader of the 3W faction. Barry Windham has already taken up and left, and now Terry Funk and Jimmy Hart seem to be on bad terms, as perhaps poor timing by Funk, or perhaps mismanagement by Jimmy Hart, or perhaps something even more insidious. On behalf of his man, Jackie Fargo, his champion. But last night was not to be for Terry Funk. It was the Iron Sheik's night, winning the number one contenders match, and it will be Iron Sheik to take on Jackie Fargo for the Pro Wrestling Mid-America Heavyweight Championship. In our main event, it was the Lone Star Heavyweight Championship on the line, pitting the champion Don Morocco against his challenger, one of the most popular men in Pro Wrestling Mid-America, the one and only Dan Severn, the Beast. The Beast took on Don Morocco, and a new Lone Star Heavyweight Champion was crowned. Dan the Beast Severn used the choke sleeper to take out Don Morocco after nearly 30 minutes of action. This was a classic back and forth. These two guys beat each other from pillar to post. Morocco did a lot of damage on the arena floor and had Severn pretty well busted up, but just couldn't get the Hawaiian hammer to land on Severn, could not find his finisher. Severn kept in the fight, battled back, using all of his submission arsenal to great effect, and finally putting Morocco away with the choke sleeper, a new Lone Star Heavyweight Champion crowned in the Mississippi Coliseum last night. All right, so that was your main event for the evening for last night's Heartland action. Next up here on the highlight reel, we'll take a tour around some of the other great territories in the Filsinger Games universe. And of course, our good friend Neil Lau, the promoter of Velvet Wrestling, put on a big show this week. First round of the Ladies Intercontinental Tournament took place. Some big names in that tournament. Silesia Sparks, here are your victors, Laura Phoenix, Brandy Alexander, and of course two of the Ohio girls that I used to watch a long, long time ago, Ashley Lane, a.k.a. Madison Rain, out of Columbus originally, and Samantha Heights out of Southwest Ohio, both of them getting victories in the first round of the tournament. Jody Threat, very dangerous. Martina, wow, who wouldn't like to see Martina throw down with Jody Threat? What a wild match that would potentially be. And in the final match of the first round, disappointment, as Dave Little was actually at ringside accompanying Velvet Sky to the ring, and Velvet lost her opening round match to Barbie Hayden, a double tough Texan. No shame in losing to Barbie Hayden. Very accomplished wrestler, but disappointing for my girl Velvet in her attempt to qualify for the her namesake, the Velvet Wrestling Intercontinental Championship. And as we are making our way around the territories, I also want to say happy Filsingerversary to Frank Wainscott. Frank on Facebook tonight pointed out that he has now been 6 years a member of the Filsinger Games community. And congratulations to you, Frank. Frank had a big week on his Facebook page, all kinds of great action, a full ECW pay-per-view hardcore heaven, highlighted by a main event victory for the current champion Shane Douglas, defending against Rob Van Dam and getting the pinfall in a classic, only to be accosted and attacked after the match by Eddie Gilbert. That sniveling little snot. Not only did Gilbert attacked with a fireball, and he lit up Shane Douglas in ECW, brought to you by Frank Wainscott. So our thoughts and best wishes go out to Shane Douglas as he attempts to recover. And our thoughts and best wishes go out to Eddie Gilbert, because if Shane Douglas gets his hand on Eddie Gilbert, it ain't going to be pretty. All right, so that is our tour around the Heartland for tonight, our tour around the Filsinger Games universe. Our next Heartland broadcast will take place on November the 23rd. Will not be on the air next week. I'm going to be away at a conference that will take me out of both the weekend action and next Wednesday night as well. This past weekend, I, for a number of reasons, was not able to get my show on the air on Saturday. So instead, I went live on Sunday night, and my goodness, were we hustling. We had over a dozen people, I think as many as 15 people in the chat room at one point on Sunday night. And that's about double what we see on a good Saturday night show. So just for experimental purposes, I'm going to try and run my weekend shows on YouTube on Sunday nights rather than Saturdays. And we'll see if we can get a good crowd again on Sunday night, probably around 7 p.m. Central Time on November 23rd, when Patriot Championship Wrestling takes to the airways. It will be the North American Heavyweight Championship defended as Johnny Valentine puts his title on the line against John Pesic. And in the main event, the Road Warriors defend the Patriot Tag Team Championship against an equally dastardly duo of Dutch Savage and Stan Saziak in next weekend's main event. All right, we are done here. Thank you all for tuning in to this week's edition of the Heartland Highlight Reel. As I mentioned, the good Lord willing, we will be back on the airwaves on November 23rd. And until then, that's our stream, and I am out of here.